What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Chuck Vernon's Play Sonic Heroes Part 8. We're now beginning the Team Dark story. The hardest team in the entire game, and the one that is based more on combat rather than speed, like with Team Sonic story. And the team members are Shadow the Hedgehog as the speed character, Rouge the Bat as the flight character, and E123 Omega for the power character. So as you can see there, usually the speed character is the leader of the teams, but in reality, Rouge is the leader of Team Dark. And the story for Omega is that he's mad at Robotnik for sealing him away in that room. And he wants to prove that he is the best Robotnik ever made. Shadow cannot remember anything after his fall from the Death Egg, or from the Space Colony arc in Sonic Adventure 2, and Rouge is off looking for treasure, like always. The controls are the same for each team, so the controls will be the same. As you can see, there are few more enemies than there was with Team Sonic, and there will be a lot more, like as I've said, everywhere. And the movements, or the controls for Omega, is pretty much the same as Knuckles. He will have the same moves: the fire dunk, the triangle dive. He will have a better third power core. If you give Omega 3 power, if you give Omega a power core instead of creating a shockwave like what Knuckles would do, he will have. Well, I'll just show it off. He will shoot machine gun. He'll shoot a machine gun for the first wave, a flamethrower for the second wave, and then if you give Omega 3 power cores, we'll use rockets, and the range for each will increase as you go on. As you can see, the machine gun range isn't that far, but the flamethrower will be farther than the machine gun, and the rockets will be farther than the flamethrower. Anyway, so as you may have heard, if I wasn't talking over it or you read, Rouge was talking about the Team Blast for Team Dark, which is called Chaos Inferno, and the way the move is set up is Shadow will pull out a Chaos Emerald and use Chaos Control to stop time. Rouge will lift Omega up and to keep his torso off the ground, and then Omega will spin his body around so that let's see, crap. Anyway, so that he can wipe out any enemies in the area. And the Chaos Control effect will work as long as there's still energy in the Team Blast gauge. They will freeze any enemy. They will freeze the clock, everything in the entire level, just as long as or for the duration of the Team Blast bar. Now, this team is definitely hard, as you can tell. There are a lot more obstacles than with Team Sonic, and there are a lot more robots than there was before as well. And there's a lot more areas where if I had pushed forward on the stick, I could have got those, by the way. But this is definitely... And so you can see that's Shadow's tornado move, the black tornado, because the tornado is black, if you didn't notice. But anyway, so the is more, as I've said before, I just keep repeating myself, but the combat is more based on combat. As you can see, you don't, and score, that is a very big thing. Score is a lot more, is a bigger factor than time. Is more based rather than on time, so you want to try to take your time and destroy as many enemies as possible to gain a bigger boost, or a bigger score that you can be gained from killing multiple enemies, just like in Sonic Adventure 2. So if you can destroy a lot of enemies in a single hit, that will help out a lot. If you notice, there was the rockets that I was referring to. I'll try to show them off again a little bit better here in a minute. Now this team is very difficult to keep so you can see the rockets, they will go up and down. They won't just be level with Omega. That's in the flamethrower, and a machine gun will also do that as well. But this is a very hard team to keep the key with, because as I have said, there is a lot of enemies around in this team, and as we go on, like in Frog Forest and Egg Fleet, it will be harder to actually keep the rings that you collect and the keys. So for those levels, you have to take it very easy and very slow. A good overview for this team is you have to concentrate a lot. The player has to concentrate a lot more than any other team, so that they can to make sure that they don't lose keys or anything such as that. And but as with all of this said, you know, the team by itself isn't that hard if you don't try to go for the A ranks, if you don't try to go for all of the key or the Chaos Emerald. You can actually make this a pretty fun team, and this is my favorite team out of all of them, even though it has given me so much trouble in the past with the trying to collect the Chaos Emeralds. Alright, I'll go ahead and show off the Team Blast move. It doesn't really matter now, but you can see that's what it is. Clock freezes, and you can gain anything that you may need to get, and you can also use that to mess with the time. So like, say if you wanted to keep it underneath a certain time, like in this case 7 minutes, you could just use the Team Blast and stop the clock. I would say you try to get over 70,000 points for this team to get the A rank on Seaside Hill for this level. Usually you want to try to get over 50 to or I guess 55 to 60,000 points on average. Some you'll need to use more, some you'll need to use less, but for the most part, that's a good round numbers for you to use. Alright, so as much as I bashed the Act 1 for the special stage, it is actually very useful. As I've talked about, you can use this to get used to the layout of the spheres. So you want to always try to practice with the speed character rather than keep changing two different formations, because you can't gain a Chaos Emerald by switching to power and flight and to the flight formation. So you just want to try to do that as much as possible. And there won't be any Chow balloons. I don't know if I talked about that or not, but there won't be any Chow balloons in the. No matter how far you get in the Chaos Emerald, there will never be any Chow balloons, so you won't have to worry about that. You just have to go. All you'll have to worry about is just going after the Chaos Emerald and making sure you get to it. All right, so it really isn't too much about this. Too much to say about this one. This is the easiest one of them all. There isn't too many. I don't think there is any spiked bombs or anything like that. So that, that's good. And you can actually use your other teammates to collect spheres. That will help out a lot if you can kind of get them into like these big bunches, or if you can just kind of like string them out, make sure they're right behind you and string them out a little bit. You can use that as well. Let's see, I don't think anybody's following me in here. Oh, okay, Rouge was. That's good. And this should be the end. Let's see, I should get about 4 lives. I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty good. Lives are very important for this team. You want to make sure you can collect as many lives as possible. Make sure you can get as many rings as possible to make sure you can get as many lives as possible. Because once you get to Frog Forest and Hang Castle and Egg Fleet, you will definitely wish you had all of those rings, or all those lives. And this team will make observations more of their surroundings more than any other team will. If you notice at the start of their story, they had talked amongst themselves, and they will do that for every level. Here, usually it'll just be Omega talking about it. We can't forget our main objective. Or sometimes you'll have Rouge or Shadow talking about the surroundings. But that's a pretty cool thing that they added, the observations for the surroundings. Sometimes you'll learn a little bit more of your surroundings compared to any other team. Alright, so the triangle dive is just the same as with Knuckles. You just get above a fan, hold down the A button, and the flight is just the same. Rouge has the dummy ring defense, just like with Tails. I'll show that off in Bullet Fortress, I believe is what it is, or Rail Canyon. Once we get there, I can show it off there. Let's see. Now there are 2 paths you can take here. The upper path is a little bit longer, but it has a lot more enemies you can go after. So if you want to go after a few enemies, or if you try to go after a few more power cores, this is a good path to take. And it is a little bit more safer, actually, than taking that other path, but you can gain more rings, and I believe even a life if you go back through that lower path. Oh. Well, let's see, we can at least use Rouge to get up there. Alright, so just remember to look around in these types of places. This is, I guess, more of an ambush place, but I believe that should have had either a key or a life. I believe it did with Team Sonic anyway, and that's just one of the many differences between the teams. Is that there will, you may go into an area that had a key or a life and there won't be one with that team. And sometimes you'll even find lives and keys that other teams can't find. But there are 3 keys. I believe there are 3 keys for every zone or every act. Let's see. I think I went speed last time, so we'll go fly for this time. They are pretty much the same, except just the enemies will be higher. The enemy count will be higher, and you'll have to deal with more ambushes like this. But for the most part, I believe just the scenery, they should be the same. You always want to go rouge if you can while navigating through this section. Or if you want to use the cheap way, you can just use Thunder Shoot to take the shield out, and then follow up with Shadow to knock out the take the robot out, or Omega. But remember, you want to be careful while using the power formation character, because sometimes with the bugs that are in this game, you will sometimes go flying off the edge as you have seen me do many times before. But this isn't as Omega isn't as hard to control as with like Knuckles was. You know, sometimes you could really get punching with Knuckles and be all over the place. Omega likes to keep his attacks more close rather than sporadic, and once he pulls out his rocket, machine gun, or flamethrower, he will stop. So if you okay, I guess the name is different. Thought it was the same as the fire dunk, but I guess this is fire launcher for this team. They will change the names of their attacks, you know, but they are pretty much the same thing. But yeah, if you watch me while I'm in a big group of enemies with Omega, once he pulls out his rocket launcher or machine gun or flamethrower, he will stand still, so you can be a little bit more precise and use Omega a little bit more in those smaller platformed areas than with Knuckles, who would be all over the place. And if you can hear Omega making fun of the weaker robots, Omega is a part of the E100 series, just like the robots from Sonic Adventure E101, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And if you do get an E rank and with this team and you use Omega a lot, he will say, I couldn't even beat Gamma or Beta, meaning that those were the 2 strongest robots out of the E100 series with in Sonic Adventure. I was gonna say I probably won't get an E rank, so you might not be able to hear it, but you will be able to hear it, I'm sure. Once I get to Hang Castle and Frog Forest, I'm sure I'll get a couple E's in there. Alright, so I believe there are 3 rocks here when there wasn't 3 rocks in Team Sonic story. So to gain a little bit of extra time there, you could have used the Team Blast to stop the clock, and it would have definitely helped you out a lot. But as you can see, I use Omega a lot more than I did with Knuckles. Okay, I would say probably try to get 90,000 for this one. I thought they'd only try to keep it around 70,000 to 75,000, but I would say anywhere from 65,000 to 90,000, definitely, to try to get the A rank. Alright, so you do need to get every Chaos Emerald with every team to be able to get the to get to unlock the final story, and you do have to. That is a pain to do, but if you can get it with both Team Sonic and Team Dark very quickly, Team Rose is very easy, and Team Chaotix is very easy to get the Chaos Emeralds with. But I'm not done yet. I was gonna end the video, but not yet. All right, you can see with Team Sonic, I got all 7 of the Chaos Emeralds, so they will be there and lit up and everything. And I'll just show off the special stages won't be any different, unlike the main stages. So you can see the other 2 were ignored as Omega. Let's see. For this first part, you just want to worry about trying to get to the beach as quickly as you can, and even in the boss stages, there will be a lot more. Maybe I might have jumped the gun a little bit. The problem isn't with the rotors moving too fast. You just want to make sure you don't jump the gun and get to the beach before it does, I guess. Because I could have swore that it still would have landed whether you got to the beach or not. Come on. Alright, so if you don't have your flight character leveled up all the way, you just knock out the rotors first. And then you can either attack the individual turrets or just continuously homing attack the ship. It doesn't really matter which you do. Of course, as we saw with Team Sonic, it is definitely best to try to upgrade your flight formation character so that you can pick him off from a while you're running along here, so you can knock him out quicker, and just while you're around here. Oh, there we go. It's not any different compared to the Team Sonic, other than just the hordes of robots that come and attack you. There will be more of those green flying egg pawns around the outside of the ring, and those normal egg pawns that will come and ambush you once you get to the beginning of the rings. But I think for watching the challenge of the video is how many robots did I destroy with Omega in the Seaside Hill zone. Thank you for watching. Until next time.